this worship experience today, we all have come from different faith traditions. We all have come from different ways and walks of life. But God is doing a new thing here at Ruach Christian Community Fellowship. It doesn't matter whether you were Baptist or Kojic or AME or no me or nothing. What God has done in this experience is taken our old religion, our old ritual, and God has revamped that thing and is doing a brand new thing. Somebody shout a new thing. God, help a black man in here. So it is that the disciples think that they're going to do what they've always done. They go fishing at night because night is the strategically best time to go fishing. According to their experience, these expert fishermen know that if you go at night, you're more capable and have more the expectation of catching fish. I can recall not too long ago having gone to the pier at Santa Monica. There were those who have their fishing lines over the poles, and you wonder what they're doing. I mean, the place is lined up with fishermen and fisherwomen, and you're like, what are you doing? But you never really see them while you walk up on them. You don't see a bite on the line. You don't necessarily see them kind of pulling anything in. And you ask them, do you ever catch anything? And I asked this one woman, do you ever catch anything? She said, oh yes. She looked back at her basket and she had a basket full of fish. And I thought to myself, that's an illustration. You may not see it coming now, but the evidence has already been there. And your experience tells you if you wait on this particular line, you're going to catch something after a while. If you wait long enough, you're going to catch what you're expecting. And so it is, beloved, that they expected to catch fish in the night hours. The time grew late. Yes, the midnight came and went, and nothing had come to pass in the net. But early in the morning, somebody shout early. Early in the morning, there was a figure, the silhouette that seemed somehow surreal and yet familiar, standing on the yonder's banks there in the midst of the morning as the night shawl was drawing back from the horizons of the interlacing borders of the Tiberian or Sea of Galilee. There was a man standing there and asking the question, have you caught anything yet? And the disciples were able to hear him because they were out just about two farthings or maybe 300 feet from the shore. They were in shallow water. This is in contradistinction to what Jesus told them in Luke chapter 5 when he told them to cast out into the deep and expect a drought. Because this, beloved, is post-resurrection experience. This time Jesus is not in the boat with them, and so no wonder they catch nothing. Please note that they are unsuccessful, but they are persistent. They don't have anything, but because of their past, they expect to get something right here and right now. But sisters and brothers, just because it worked historically doesn't mean it's going to work now. I need you to remember this is post-resurrection, post-season playoff time. The time is ticking and a new level is before you. A new experience, a new level of win, and you have miles yet to go. This is not like it was before. You can't go back. You cannot retreat. You have come too far. This is a different season. This is a different time. Please note that Jesus' question is different. Have you caught anything? In previous resurrection, in previous or pre-resurrection, his question to Mary or to Martha was, I am the resurrection and the life. Do you believe this? At the tomb of Lazarus, he asked this question. However, in John chapter 20, he asked Mary, why are you weeping? Didn't I tell you I was going to come back? See, he tells us in the previous time and then confirms it in the post-resurrection. Yes, beloved, can't you hear that Jesus is approaching us, asking us the question, why is it that you expect what worked in the past to work in your present? Why is it, don't you realize that this is a new day and I'm doing a brand new thing? And all I'm trying to do is not to embarrass you, but to prepare you for the fact that the old answers will no longer be able to suffice for new questions. That today God is doing a brand new thing and you and I are going to have to hear afresh his word. And Jesus is. fish as he stands on the banks of the river. Please note that he asked them, have you caught anything? But the disciples have not caught anything because Jesus is not with them. And please note that what Jesus says to them is to simply cast the net on the right side of the boat. Now, no doubt, brothers and sisters, all night long, I'm sure that the disciples have put the net on the side of the boat. They've had time to put it on the back side, the stern, the right side, and the left. Not just once or twice, but several times. God help me. Some of us have, in our exhaustion to make things work in our lives, we've done things on our own, with our own volition. We've tried one time, two times, and three times. But I'm trying to suggest to you that in this post-resurrection season, nothing is going to work without the presence and power of Jesus. It's not until you allow and expect and anticipate Jesus on the scene. Nothing is going to happen without his power, without his word, without his will, without his touch, without his anointing. Nothing is going to happen. It's the same thing for our ministry together. Without the presence and power of Jesus, nothing can happen at Ruach. Because Ruach's anointing is not about a personality, Lewis Logan. It's not about the teachings, yes, of a Norman Bullock. It's not about the presence of any particular personality. For if it's not for the presence of Jesus, everything we do is for naught and in vain. Don't look at me because I'm a mess. I'm no better than anybody else. Don't look at Norman. He's a mess. I can tell you that. Because don't look at Bruce. He's a... Oh, yeah. God help us in here. We all got our mess. We all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. It is only Jesus who is the standard bearer, standing on the seashore, standing with authority and power, standing like he stood when Stephen was stoned, standing like he stands when anybody is persecuted. He stands on the edge of expectation to tell you that no matter what you do, it's only going to work if I tell it to work. And when we get the message that Jesus is the reason for every season we're in, that he is the quarterback calling the play, he is the coach that trains, yes, the team, he is the offensive and defensive coach, he knows the plays and he knows what's going to happen. He is in the end zone with us, he's working for us, and he is our intermediator. Yes, Jesus says, have you caught any fish? He says, if you have not, let me give you, yes, some advice. And don't you like that about Jesus? He doesn't only tell you or ask you to critique what you're doing, but he also has viable solutions to help you make it. I can imagine that the disciples may have thought, it doesn't make much sense to put it on the right side when we've already done that 5, 6, and 7 times. But because this is a season of perfecting, whatever Jesus says do, you ought to just go on and do it. If he tells you to hang in there, you ought to hang in there. If he tells you to pray and lay hands on your children, you better continue to lay hands on your children. If he tells you to start that business, you better go ahead and start it. If he tells you to step out and stop going to school, whatever Jesus says, if you do it, you'll be on the right side and you'll be right into overflow. Please note what Jesus says. He says, launch or put the net on the right for a catch. He tells them what to do, and he tells them to expect a catch in the net. You see what Jesus does? He does not give us instruction that's empty, but instruction that will step us into overflow. All he wants to know is, will you obey what he's asking you to do? For obedience is the key to overflow. Somebody ought to know, obedience will get you into overflow. Somebody shout hallelujah.